Hello, and welcome back to ASD A New Perspective, the podcast show that helps you know what is going on in the mind of your child. And we do encourage you that growth for your child is possible. And this is our special series on the concerns of parents with children with ASD. And in this podcast, Dr. Gutstein discusses the role of the RDI consultant, which is very special. Dr. Gutstein explains.
You know, the word consultant is a funny word because what an RDI person should do, professional is doing, is providing you with the means to be able to guide your child, to be a mental guide for your child, and to restore that primary function that didn't develop, so that your child can have the opportunity to be in a guiding relationship. And so the word consultant's a funny word because you're not just sitting back and saying, do this, do this, do this. You're really providing experiences. And yes, you're providing education, but you're saying, let's set up experiences for you that are one step ahead. It's just safe things that step by step help you to have this success, and to help your child as well. And so you're also really saying, it's a systemic issue too that's different. That you're saying, no, it's not just you, it's you and your child and your family and your environment. To set up that environment and to construct experiences for you, for your child, for other people, so that you can give your child this opportunity, right, that they didn't develop, which is a critical opportunity for development. So you're really doing, you're consulting, you're doing choreography, you're supporting, you're scaffolding, you're framing, you are guiding people to you're guiding families. Maybe that's maybe we should call it family guides, right? Instead of consultants, because I think consultant is sort of a more detached way of looking at it. I guess it's just accepted professionally, but what you're really doing is you're doing what a guide would do, except for the family system, right? So that they can have this opportunity as a family to provide this for this child, what this child needs, what they need, right? And I don't know, does anybody else do that? I don't think so. I don't think anyone else has that role.
I like what you said in calling us a family guide.
Yeah.
Because that, for me, punctuates the idea that we're all in this parallel process together.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's better than talking about just parents. It's that, because, I find that it really is trying to understand how to help your family to have this, to engage in this critical function, this essential element, this most important, the function of families that's most important, but also is most gratifying. I think about my relationship now with my grandson, and I took away the guiding that we're doing. It'd be like, it wouldn't be much I'd want to do with it. I mean, it's like, it's most of what we do in our time together. Like, it's almost all what we do, except if he's real tired and he needs to, or I need to pick him up when he's falling down and that part. But all that is so that we can do the guiding together that we're both invested in, and that is the centerpiece of our life together. And if you take that away, I just don't know what the point of parenting is anymore, the family anymore, And I don't think any family any parents or children, regardless of their disability, should be deprived of that experience, right? So it's as much for the child as for the parents. And I don't think they should be. And I think it's a shame that people start out with that assumption in autism. I mean, I think that's one of the things people will look back on years from now and say, can you believe that the predominant people, that the treatments, interventions, is they took this thing away from the parents and the children, and they didn't give them these opportunities, and people are going to not believe it, that all these years have been spent, depriving families of this this thing that's so critical for our feeling of self-worth as a parent, for the child's feeling of security, for the child's brain development, mental development. There's just a couple of new studies that have just come out, longitudinal studies, looking at the impact of parent guiding on brain development in early ages, and very clear relationship of elements of parent guiding and neural development. So even, and this is at 16 or 18 months already, there's the outcome. And so you see all these neurological studies of brain differences in children with autism, and you have to wonder, how can any of, what are you saying about the neural functioning or the neural development of these children? Is it that children with autism brains are different, or is it because they're being deprived so early of that guiding relationship that it's impacting their neural development? Right? How do you know? And you don't know. But neural development, every kind of psychosocial development, cognitive development, you name it, it's there. And so the idea that you would, and we don't assume that you can't do that with a child who has intellectual disability, by the way, even unless it's very severe to the point where they're almost vegetative. But a child with Down syndrome, you would never assume that you wouldn't have a guiding relationship. Those kids, you just assume you will, or other neurological or other neurogenic disorders. You never assume that. Or even a child who has schizophrenia, childhood psychosis, which is very severe. You would never make that assumption. This is the only disorder where the professional community is still, large parts of it still committed to not providing or actually preventing this type of, guiding relationship. There's not supporting parents in learning how to guide their children and develop their children's minds and emotional states and social worlds. It's the only one. And so, it's a shame, isn't it?
It is, because I kind of visualize families in their homes, and what happens is, whether it's in the kitchen or in the backyard or the game room, or I remember playing little games with my daughter, like you are with your grandson, in her room, and dolls, and it all goes away. And when that doesn't happen, you have a guide that doesn't want to guide and a child that doesn't want to be guided.
If you take away the things we're doing like this together, we don't have a relationship. What is there between us? Where's the bond? What's the point of it? And so you have a child with autism, and somebody, and without even knowing it, it's being taken away from you. And I think there's two parts to that. One is no one's deliberately doing that, and you're not. But what a shame, because you can have that, as we know, and you can be the most important person in developing their mind, because no one else is going to be able to do it, and there's just nothing like it. There's nothing like it, and that's what I would say to any parent who says to me, I don't want to be involved. Maybe I'll take my box out and say, let me tell you what I've been doing with my grandson. Just see how you think, this is what I've been doing. And who doesn't have autism? And then they might say, yeah, but he doesn't have autism. And then you're getting to the heart of it, which is, I don't think I could do that with my child. That's what it's going to come down to 100% of the times. I don't think I could do that with my child. I've given up on that. And then I would say, no, you don't have to give up on it. But then I have an interesting discussion of, I can understand why you have, but I'm here to tell you, you don't have to. You can have that. And we have many parents who we can show you have that.
Thanks, Dr. Gutstein, and thank you for joining us for ASD, A New Perspective, the podcast show where we help you understand what is going on in the mind of your child. And we encourage you that growth for your child is possible. And we hope you enjoy our new series, The Common Concerns of Parents. I'm Kat Lee. See you next time.